Okay, so usually when you see my videos on this channel, it's either me racing supercars, going shopping, or chilling at some private beach clubs. But recently I've been getting a lot of DMs regarding how I actually make my money. Because I understand lifestyle is cool, but people don't just want to watch me live it all day. They want to replicate it for themselves and have it for themselves. So that is exactly why I'm making this video. You know, my goal is to tell you all of the fundamentals you need to have in place before you start trading. Now, I'm not going to go as in depth as I'm going with my mentorship students, with my one-on-one students in the Hidden Edge, which you can book actually the application, first link in the description. But this video right here is still going to be better than 99% of all the content you see on YouTube. I promise you that. Now, you may be asking yourself why I'm making such a big claim, but simply because I traded myself. So here's my verified results on my FX book, as you can see. And that's not a week, that's not a day, that's a month. And you can see month after month: September 83%, October 34%, November 63%. Verified my FX book results. So I'm showing up and showing consistency publicly for a very long time. Okay, so I made, with this account, I turned $25,000 account into $250,000 in just 4 months. And I don't like it when people say he just makes money from courses and mentorships, because literally that's my smallest stream of income. And unlike all of these other fake gurus, you know, they're trying to sell you the dream. So with all of that in mind, let's get into this video. And right away on my screen, you can see a triangle formation. I call this profitable traders triangle formation. And this is a profitable trading system. It's not a trading strategy. It's not risk management secrets. It's a profitable trading system, because I believe that profitable trading is not just a profitable strategy. Profitable trading is not just a profitable mindset. It's a combination of these three things, which is setup, or in other words, strategy. So what is your strategy? Exactly, step-by-step process. Next, what is your risk management? How do you adjust your risk for each trade based on different market conditions? That's really, really important, okay? And finally, your trade management. How do you move? How do you act? And what type of actions you make while you are in the trade? And if you have answered to all of these questions, you have all of these three things in your system, you're most likely going to be profitable. And this system that I'm showing you myself is my trading system, and it's profitable. I showed you the results. I've been trading this publicly. My students are trading this profitably, and this is what you need to have. So I go with them one by one. So this is always my first step. I want to first find the setup. Secondly, before I enter the trade, what type of risk I'm going to be using, depending on daily market structure and 15-minute momentum. And finally, when I'm in the trade already, how am I going to manage it? So over all of these, I'm going to go over right now very, very quickly, okay? So I always start with the weekly time frame to find my bias, because I say that if previous weekly candle was bullish, it is more likely than less likely that the next candle, the weekly candle, is also going to be bullish. As you can see here, weekly candle followed by weekly candle by weekly candle, and so on. So just by building this type of bias, by looking at bias in this way, you would be winning for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, let's say, okay? Yes, the market conditions are sometimes different. That's when you need to protect your capital. But in these type of market conditions, you need to win in the markets, okay? So very clearly, I can see that my bias is bullish. Next, I drop straight away to 30-minute time frame and try to look for my liquidity zones. Okay. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that people do when they're looking for their supply or demand, since we're looking for buys, we're looking for demand, is they don't know where to look for them, because they just look at the chart and they try to identify a specific demand candle anywhere on the chart. And that's a big, big mistake. Now, since we're looking at gold, gold is mostly volatile during London and New York session, okay? So we should be only looking for demands or the underlying liquidity inside of those sessions. This is why I have this indicator, which helps me identify the different trading sessions. Okay, so now the gray zone is New York and green zone is London session. If I look to the left, right away, I see a perfect demand zone. this is going to be my demand zone right here on a 30-minute time frame. Why I like this demand zone is because from this point, from this distribution right here, the price had a massive impulse. Let's see if I drop to 15-minute time frame. Yeah, I can even shrink it like this. From this indecision candle, the price had a massive push to the upside. And as you can see, as the price approached this level once again, this level of liquidity, it looks like it's starting to reject again. But that's not enough. So this is our setup, okay? Step number one in our setup is building a bias. We've done that. Step number two in our setup is finding liquidity. And last step in finding a setup is to find an entry confirmation. Okay, so now I'm looking at 3-minute time frame, okay? My first corner of the triangle was to find the setup. We found the setup. We got an entry confirmation. Now we move on to second step, the second corner of the triangle, which is risk management. Now, for my risk management, I need to pay attention to two things: daily market structure and 15-minute momentum, okay? So before I enter this trade, I need to determine what type of risk I'm going to be using. So starting with the daily time frame, my bias was bullish. I'm looking for buys. I need my daily market structure to also be bullish. So as I'm looking at a daily market structure, I can see that the price is moving with higher highs and higher lows, with a failure to break this low. So still a bullish market structure, which is green light. Based on this, I can continue using my full risk, which is around 3%, but we still need to check 15-minute time frame. Now, as I'm checking 15-minute time frame, what do I see? I see that the price is moving with a pretty strong momentum towards our level. Okay, we have big bearish candles and a bearish market structure. So now I'm shaving off my risk from 3% to 2% for this trade because of this rule that I have, because of the analysis on 15-minute momentum. So we determined our risk, we have our entry, we enter the trade, okay? The entry confirmation of this setup is a double bottom. We break the neckline, our stop loss is below the structure, and our take profit has to be at least 1 to 3. So now I have rules, step-by-step rules, how I enter the setup. I have step-by-step rules, what type of risk I'm going to be using. Finally, when I'm in the trade, how am I going to be managing this trade? So for trade management, it's really, really simple. What I teach is real traders, they don't guess, they react. So for us, we need to imagine that the price is starting from here and its destination is here, okay? It's going from one point to a second point. Now, what we need to identify is at what points, at what levels, the price could have trouble on the way to the point B, where it wants to get, okay? So by doing that, we can just identify the key levels of previous rejections, which is right here, and we have a serious rejection right here. So these two rejections could cause some trouble for the price on the way to the upside. So real traders, they don't guess, they react. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna sit and watch my trade and react based off what is happening in the markets. So I'm looking the price approach the level. It has been broken with no trouble. I continue holding my full risk. The price approaches another level. It breaks above and breaks below. That is a warning sign, but it's yet still not a time to me to take off partials of this trade because we still have a bullish market structure and we still have another zone below. So we continue holding it. The price breaks above, which is a good sign, and then continues all the way to the TP. So as you can see with this system, I have followed through a way to find a setup. I have a step-by-step system how I find a setup, in other words, strategy. Second step is, what is my risk? I have series of things I need to take a look before I determine my risk. And finally, when I'm in the trade, I know exactly how I'm managing my trade. So every single day I sit at the charts, I know exactly what I'm looking for, when I'm looking for it, and where I'm looking for it, okay? So this is how you need to treat trading. Treat trading like business, treat trading like a systematic process. Now, if you are serious about starting and making money with trading, I run a one-on-one coaching program called the Hidden Edge, where I help you find your edge as a trader and become profitable in under 90 days, even if you are a complete beginner. I only and only work with truly motivated people, those who are hardworking and can dedicate at least 1 hour per day into trading. So be sure to fill out the form with as much detail as possible for you to have the best chance to get on the call and be approved. For everyone who wants to apply, check the link below, the first link in the description, and I'll see you there.